where is Pasha? What would be your advice to someone who wants to start modeling? Have you ever had panic attacks, and if so, how do you handle them? Have you ever been in depression? What is the best feeling in the world? Hello and welcome back. I haven't done a Q&A video in years and years, and these videos are really fun. Let this be my return into Q&A video land. I asked you guys to ask me questions about anything at all, and they don't even have to be questions. You can just say like, talk about this specific topic, and I'll cover it. But yeah, let's get started. This video is brought to you by Squarespace, which is my favorite online platform to build a website. I also do, by the way, have a playlist on my channel of every single Q&A video I've ever done. So check that out if you want to learn more about the past me. Are you going to Burning Man this year? Absolutely not. Not going to Burning Man and not going to Coachella, not going to South by... Who's knocking? Not going to anything. It's probably like one of the most unique, cool journeys you can take yourself on for a week. And I don't want to go back because I feel like I don't need to, really. I don't want to. Do you have enough savings to have a cool life for 1 year without a job? No. Obviously not. The hell? Maybe like not in this country. That's for sure. What are your finger dot tattoos called? They're not dots actually. They're stars actually. They're tiny stars, and they faded because the skin on your fingers, it renews very often from what I was told when I first got them. So they're dots now at this point. Originally, there was just one star on every single finger, and I put up this picture on Instagram and I said, I'm a motherfucking star finger, because there's star fingers, get it? Haha. I just thought it was really cool. But anyways, have you ever had panic attacks, and if so, how do you handle them? Girl, are you serious? Of course I have had panic attacks. I have had a lot of panic attacks. I was diagnosed with panic disorder, if that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. But in the past, honestly, when people used to ask me, like, how do you deal with anxiety? I wouldn't know what to tell people because honestly, I was on medication. I was on anxiety medication. And I'm not gonna go and be like, oh, I take a pill for that. Something that my current psychiatrist told me when I saw him last year, like last February, which is when I was really bad. You know, I would tell him that, oh, I'm so stressed and I keep having panic attacks and keep crying, and it was anyways. And he would be like, well, do you have a reason to? Do you have a reason to be anxious? Is there something going on in your life? And I was like, hell yeah. And it took me a little while to understand that I was reacting to the world that I saw. I was reacting to the world inside of me, and I was reacting to the events that went on. And I think it kind of was only natural to react with panic and anxiety. The way that I got over that was realizing, pinpointing the things in my life that were not going the way that I want them to. Changing a lot in my life, kind of starting over. And honestly, I think a big reason why I don't suffer with panic attacks nowadays, God knock on wood, is because I've identified the things that trigger me and I really stay away from them. I also make sure that I always get enough sleep. Sleep is something that I never used to prioritize, and obviously that never went well. I prioritize nutrition and movement. I think movement really helps being in my body and telling my body that I'm gonna dance or I'm gonna do this or that. That feeling is really important, especially when in the past you've tried to numb yourself from every single feeling that you had in your body and disassociate from your body. That feeling is really therapeutic and really helpful. Movement, I mean. But I do also want to say that I highly regret ever taking anxiety medications, because holy band-aid. Once you stop taking them, which you will have to eventually, you're gonna feel worse physically, but you're also gonna be like, okay, but I still don't have the coping mechanisms and the coping skills to deal with the panic. So that is why I highly regret ever taking anxiety medications. And I don't even think that that's rude to say. I don't even think that that's a controversial thing for me to be saying. And someone could defend anxiety medication, because I dare you to try. They have literally destroyed lives. I am very fortunate that I don't have neurological problems, because yeah, I had a seizure because my doctor did not refill my medication on time. That seizure led to me having my driver's license taken away, which led to me seeing a neurologist. But the sequences of events that followed my life after that time were not great, and I'm still trying to recuperate my life from all of the shit that I've done to myself. So it's really difficult though. I hope that you do have a support system. I should say that. I really hope that you have a support system. I really hope that you have a psychiatrist, and I hope that you have a psychologist. I hope that you have a therapist. I hope that you want to get help and are reaching out and because people will help you. That is another huge thing. I think therapy and self-help, my psychiatrist obviously really helped me. And I hope that you feel better and that you're not having panic attacks anymore. Are you planning on making any TikTok content? Yeah, it took me like, what, 3 years? I'd like to make content on TikTok, but it's just like, I have so much already to do that it's like, are you back on Twitter? I have a Twitter account. I don't use it to tweet. I use it to look at the news because Twitter is a pretty decent news source. Like if you want to know what is going on in your immediate area, I like Twitter for that. I'm kind of perplexed because I feel like it's part of my job to be on all these social media sites, and I can't just be like, well, I don't want to have an Instagram account. I don't like Instagram. I've been doing so well without Twitter that I don't. I have a question that is, where is Pasha? I lost your page for a while. Well, thanks for coming back. And Pasha, my Jende conure, he's a bird. Unfortunately, this story is not a happy story. He's alive and he's, I hope, well. After I moved to LA and I left Toronto, he started acting kind of strange. He used to attack my socks, then he would attack my pajamas. Like, so I literally could not wear socks or pajamas in the house. I couldn't wear the color pink. He would attack anyone that's wearing pink, anything that's pink. Glasses, he started attacking then. Like if you're wearing glasses inside, he will attack you. My mom told me recently that she called an adoption agency and they found a new owner for him, a new house for him. And we both feel so bad for him. Mind you, I didn't know that this was happening. I only found out like 7 months after it happened, so there's nothing really I can do. And I don't think there was ever anything I could have done. But yeah, that's what's happening with Pasha right now. I feel like people buy birds because they're like, oh, it's cute, it talks. Like, I don't have to walk my bird. But it breaks my heart, honestly, when people get pets and they can't care for them. I'm not trying to like say that people should not own birds. It was, yeah, I don't know, complicated situation. Did you check your astrology compatibility with your boyfriend and did it coincide? Fuck yeah, I did. My boyfriend is a Libra and I am a Gemini. So we're pretty compatible. And I've always really loved Libras. Actually, he's the reason I've always loved Libras because I fell in love with him when I was in the 8th grade. So I knew that all along. What would be your advice to someone who wants to start modeling? Is it worthwhile? Of course it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile doing anything that you want to do, and especially because people start modeling and then they grow these incredible work relationships and connections and they go on to be business people. They go on to create brands. They go on to become agents themselves. It is such a good way to meet people and do what you love. My best advice would be to treat it like a professional job. Always be on time, always be kind to people. I feel like professionalism in modeling is something that is often overlooked because we think, oh, models are just pretty faces. But in all actuality, the very successful models are also the most professional models. What is the best feeling in the world? In the world? The best feeling in the world is to love and being loved back and knowing that within yourself and leading with the love that you have inside of you. That's what I think is the best feeling in the world. Because if you have that, then like everything else feels amazing, I think. Your whole daily experience feels like the best feeling in the world when you lead your day with love. Sorry if that's touche, but it's true, no? A lot of questions of people asking me how I feel and how I am. Honestly, I'm a little bit stressed right now, but thank you for asking me. Things will get better, and I know that right now is just a time period. Lots of things that I feel like I really need for myself to grow and for myself to be happy. Or how did you learn to do figure skating jumps on ice? Because I have a coach and I see her twice a week. It's a freaking huge expense, but I love doing it. I honestly underestimated how much strength figure skating took. So I go to the gym and I do a lot of like resistance band exercises with my cat. This is my kitty, and her name is Zyka. Isn't she the sweetest? Да, мой зайчик, да. Моя девочка. We stay home all day together. Okay, go. She's honestly the best cat ever. She doesn't rip anything. She doesn't knock anything down. She doesn't wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. She doesn't bother me. She doesn't meow for food. She doesn't even care really for food. Like, she's not motivated by it, which can have its like negatives too, but she's perfect. I love her. What do you feel when you remember Bali? I feel a little bit of regret, but I also feel a lot of joy for the fact that I did do that. Like, Bali is really far and it's really expensive to go there, but I'm really glad that I had that experience. I'm glad that I took the initiative and I planned that trip. I think Bali is like indescribably indescribable. Obviously, everyone says that, but it's true. New York City, what do you love and what do you hate about it? I don't hate anything about New York City. What I love about New York is the fact that I know the answer to this one. What I love about New York is the fact that even from the moment that you're landing and you see New York City outside of the airplane window, already I feel so driven. I feel like I've been charged with extra batteries, excited to be alive. I'm excited to be a part of this, society. I'm excited to be around all the people that I'm around, and I'm inspired by them and I want to learn from them. For example, Bali is also another place that is super inspiring and super beautiful, but it's very foreign. New York City doesn't really feel that foreign to me, so I feel like I just got to a party, but not a party to party, but a party to live. I don't hate anything about New York City, to be very honest with you. The only thing I don't know, the wind. It's not even that cold in New York City, honestly. It was super windy when I lived there. The kind of wind that would blow you down, blow you off your feet. I really wish that I could visit New York City. Manifesting. Have you ever been in depression? Have I ever been in depression? Yeah, I have been very, very depressed. I don't even think that you have to be very depressed or a little bit depressed. Depression is the kind of thing that it takes a grip over everything in your life. And I think that it is very disabling. But yeah, I have absolutely had depression before, and there's no way in hell that I'm gonna deny that ever and say, well, maybe I was actually just sad. Because sometimes I do that. As I go about my day, recently I have been stopping myself on the thought that it is so cool to not be depressed. It is a night and day difference, and it's not like I took an antidepressant and it worked. I don't know, it took a lot of time. It took probably a year for me to feel like it is fading slowly, 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 slowly. And now I can say that I don't have depression. And I can say that also with certainty, and it's so nice. God, maybe it's just important to remind people that these things do end and you will feel better and you will not be depressed forever like I did think that I was going to be. I just thought that I kind of made it pretty obvious that I was dealing with some pretty severe mental health problems in the past, so it's not obvious. Have you ever been bullied as a Russian girl because of the Ukraine war? I have been bullied for being Russian, but not because of the Ukraine war. In the 7th grade, I'm not sure if many people know this, but in the 7th grade, I moved from Toronto to a town called Kitchener because my mom had a job at a hospital there, so I had to live there for a year. And the people there, well, I'm not gonna talk about the people there, I'm not gonna generalize, but I did experience bullying. People bullied me for being Russian, and it's not because I had an accent or anything, they just didn't like the fact that I was from Russia. And it was definitely a huge deal to a lot of people. So yeah, there's lots of shit out there, lots of crazy shit out there. Have you ever had veneers? No, I have not had veneers. I'm actually incredibly lucky because my teeth are very straight. They've always been really straight, and I'm not going to take that for granted. But I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I love you, and stay strong, stay safe, and don't be mean to people. Bye. Bye. Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I built my first website on Squarespace. Squarespace member areas are an awesome way to generate extra income through gated members only content on your website. There are hundreds of extensions that you can download that make your life easier, such as Shippo, which will arrange shipping around the world if you're selling products on your site. Social media post synchronization is also something you can do if you connect your social media accounts on Squarespace so that all the content that you post also gets automatically pushed to your website. All of the blogging features like changeable fonts and all of the visual customization that you can do and blogging features so that you can run a blog and a website and a store. Don't forget to check out my Squarespace site. It's just sonyaesman.com. And if you've been thinking about creating your own website or starting a store, don't forget to go to squarespace.com/sonyaesman for 10% off of your first purchase of a domain or a website, which hopefully will help you out a little bit. If you leave me a comment under this video with your question, I promise to get to it in a future Q&A video. Granted that there aren't like 7,000 questions, but you know what I mean. If there are like 70, then I will answer all of them. So bring it on. Bring me your questions, anything that you want. Let me know in the comments below and I will get back to you in my next video. Not, I'll get back to you.